What's up, fellow bookworms? My name is Kaylin, and welcome to my new BookTube channel called Thriving in Fiction. And today we're going to be doing the BookTube Newbie tag. Alright, now let's get into it. Question number 1. Why did you start this channel? I decided to start this channel because I really want to be able to build a community that I can just chat books with. I do have some readers in my life, but they don't necessarily read the same things that I read. I read primarily adult fantasy and science fiction, as well as some young adults sprinkled in. And the people around me tend to read literary fiction or nonfiction. So I just really want to be able to scream to the rooftops about the stuff I like and have really great discussions with people on the internet. And question 2, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? While I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here, there's a lot of really great booktubers out there whose content I love and watch daily. Really the only unique thing that I'm going to be bringing is myself and my unique perspective and opinions on a lot of the books that we're reading. And question 3, what are you most excited about for your channel? I'm most excited about building a community and having discussions about what I'm reading and what you guys are reading, and also having you recommend stuff to me as well as I'm going to be recommending stuff to you. So I'm mostly excited about the community that will hopefully build on my channel. Question 4, why do you love reading? I love reading because it is an ultimate form of escapism for me. It is my main form of entertainment. If I have any spare time, I'm usually either watching BookTube to get book recommendations or my nose is in a book. I love the written word. There's nothing that I don't escape into any other form of entertainment the way I sink into a world when it's written on the page for me. Every book is unique because it's one author's unique perspective on certain themes or certain plots or characters. It's like you're having a discussion with one other person. Question 5, what book series got you into reading? Ooh, when I was young, these are going to be very cliche answers. When I was 12, I remember going to the library in my school and my teacher making us pick out a book. And of course, the book that I picked out was Harry Potter. And I absolutely fell in love. I remember, I think I got it 3 chapters in and then the school day was done. And I remember running home to my mother and begging her to pick up this book. And this is the copy that she bought me. I still have it. I still love it. It's very cliche. And I know it's not the hottest thing in the world on BookTube right now to still love Harry Potter. People shit on it a lot, but I still love it. So that's what got me into reading when I was young. I kind of fell out of reading a little bit. I mean, I still read when I went to university and college and in my 20s, my early 20s, but definitely not as much. And the last year, with everything going on in the world, I was really able to get back into it. However, I don't know if I would have with as much passion if I hadn't picked up the first book I picked up. And another cliche answer, but the book I picked up last year that reignited my absolute love of reading was The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I don't know what possessed me to pick up a 1,000-page tome when I wasn't reading that much, but I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did. I absolutely love the world of Roshar, the characters, the slow mystery that is the magic system that you discover over the course of these books. I absolutely love it. I love the mental health representation, the question of what war and violence actually does to a person's psyche and how they have to deal and live with that for the rest of their lives. It reignited and reminded me of everything I love about reading. And I'm so happy I picked it up. I don't know what possessed me to. But These two books are really what got me back into reading. This one when I was 12, of course, everyone did. And then this one last year, right as everything was happening, and I'm so happy I picked it up. I marathoned the entire series. I read the first 3 books 2 times before Rhythm of War came out, and I read that as soon as it was released, and I'm sure I will reread it at some point. I love it. And question number 6, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I honestly think I would just ask them for advice. Like, what do you wish you knew when you were first starting? Because obviously I'm first starting and I would like to know what they wish they knew. So yeah, I would just ask for general advice. Any kind of, if they watch my content, any kind of feedback would be awesome. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just starting. So any advice they would want to give their younger selves. Question 7. What challenges will be the hardest with BookTube? Honestly, I think just time management. I have a full-time job, obviously. This is something I'm going to be doing on the side as a hobby. So I think just time management and finding the time to film and edit and upload, and then have hopefully discussions in the comments and stuff with you guys. So yeah, I think there's just time management because I still want to be able to, have the time to read the books and still have a life and my full-time job. So yeah, time management. Question 8. When did you start reading? I started reading novels and books when I would say I read a couple before Harry Potter at around age 12, but that was really when the passion was like ignited and I read Harry Potter and I wanted more and I kept growing from there. So age 12 is when I really realized how much I loved reading. But before that, my mother will be able to tell you a story of me when I was younger, before I knew how to read, sitting on one side of her while she was trying to teach my older sister on the other side of her how to read with her reader from school. And she said I would be on the other side correcting my older sister because I knew it from memory, because I just wanted to be able to read that much. So it's always been a passion of mine to be able to read. I do have a background in journalism, so I do have a background in writing as well. It's the written words in general. I am a word nerd, so I've always had that passion within me. Question 9, where do you read? I read mainly on our couch in the living room, which is right over there. So I'll have a bunch of pillows piled up behind my back and create this cozy little nook. I'll have my weighted blanket on. If I'm not at work, that's where I am. And finally, question 10. What kinds of books do you read? Like I said earlier, I mostly read adult fantasy and science fiction with some young adult fantasy and science fiction sprinkled in. Who doesn't love a good angsty young adult book? Come on. Come on. Probably not everyone, but that's okay. I do. I've been getting into audiobooks lately, and I listen to mainly nonfiction audiobooks. They're usually read by the author, and I just love that experience of having the author, especially if it's their own life experience, like telling you the words that they've written themselves or telling you their story themselves. I love that experience. So I've been getting into audiobooks that way. If the mood strikes me, I'll pick up some rom-coms, but mostly adult fantasy and science fiction. Alright guys, so that has been the BookTube newbie tag. I will link the creator of this tag in the description below. And if you're a newbie to BookTube, like I am, please consider yourself tagged. Please make sure you give it a thumbs up if you liked this video and drop a comment in the bottom telling me what kind of books you guys like to read. I'm really looking forward to creating more videos for you guys and letting you in on my reading journey. I'm still fairly new and getting back into it. I do have some classics that I would like to read and share my experience with you. Like, I've never read fully the Lord of the Rings trilogy or Dune, and I have a feeling that I'm really gonna love those. So I'm looking forward to sharing my experience, my first time experience with those classics with you guys. Drop a comment below if you have any recommendations for me. Subscribe if you liked my first video. And let me know if you have any video ideas you'd like me to do. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. He's precious, he's precious.
Oh, you're just so handsome.